right, welcome back to the Strange Noise Podcast, everybody.
What's cracking?
Oh, that was like really late. What's up?
It's been
I was waiting too, you know, that whole thing.
trying to feel it out, see where it's going.
I was like, I was waiting for Rob because I know I go after Rob.
Yeah,
Let's see.
it's the natural order of progression.
Yeah.
I was wondering if we're both gonna charge it, you know.
But welcome back, everybody. It has been a minute, and we're probably gonna be a little off our game for a minute because it's early in the morning for us.
Very early.
We hardly ever record early, so
It's early for these guys. I woke up at 5.
yeah, so it's early.
Damn, dude, the 5 in the morning.
I don't know. I just can't get past it. I don't know.
Yeah, once it becomes like a routine,
Yeah.
you just like fall into it all the
Fucking
time.
sick.
Honestly, yeah, this morning too, like I woke up at like around like 5 or something.
Oh, yeah?
But then I was like, nope, I'm going back to bed.
I
I need to sleep this off.
couldn't.
At least you can go back to bed. Yeah,
I
the ones
could-
that can go back to
I
bed,
hate
I
it.
feel bad for those people.
I'm like, fuck. It's 5. I can't go back to sleep.
no!
Do you
You're
have?
like,
I have like this cutoff though, like of like waking up. If I wake up around like 7:30, I'm like, no, like I have to stay up. Like,
Yeah.
if I sleep any longer, I feel like I'm sleeping into the day.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I
yeah,
have
that
to
makes
do.
sense, dude.
But
5 in the morning though, nah, fuck that, dude. I'm going back to sleep,
I
dude.
wish, man. I can't.
If
I'll lay
like,
there.
I still got 6 hours of sleep. Dude.
Yeah.
I'll lay
Fuck
there,
yeah.
man. But it's like nothing happens.
Yeah. For a while, I was taking those like early morning pisses too, dude, which is funny because I haven't done that in quite a while. I wonder what's different about me right now. What I've done different because it was a thing. Like I was getting up every morning, like around 4 or 5 in the morning to take that early morning piss, dude.
And then knock back out.
Yeah, and then knock the fuck back out.
Did you throw off your routine with anything like I don't know, like going
You
away for the weekend or like vacation or something? Sometimes I notice like my routine gets thrown off whenever we do something like that's
okay.
different, and then like it takes me like a day or two to kind of get back on track or something.
I wonder. No, I don't know.
But-
Not that I can recall.
Being old, this is what happens when you're old. But let's get into this. We're gonna be
Let's do
talking about some cool stuff. Talking about like the does stealing art actually is the key to being a good artist? We'll also be diving into some 90s stuff, and then talking about the TikTok, the TikTok generation, and then what else we got?
TikTokers.
And then the anxiety that Netflix has brought on all of us by canceling some of their shows.
Yep.
But we'll get into all this. Let's start off with stealing art is the Picasso saying of what is it? Good artists borrow, great artists steal.
Yep.
Does that ring true? They're like, do you have to actually have to steal art in order to be a great artist? Like, or, like this is that the key,
Yeah.
Because so I seen this video and it was talking about basically the idea of like all these artists that end up all the great artists you think of like actually stole but like kind of made it their own in a sense.
Yeah. Did their own spin on it.
But then in another bucket it's like all the artists that are kind of mediocre, like kind of borrowed and didn't put enough of their own spin on it to actually make it something, their own.
Yeah.
So does that end up? So is there's the Picasso saying hold true of like you actually do need to steal art in order to be a great artist?
I think, yeah, well, yes, in the sense that if you want to really set yourself apart, you kind of have to make it your own, instead of just doing the exact copy. The copies never work,
Yeah.
They always fall short. They fail in some sort of way.
Or they may not fail, but they may not be like what you would call like I guess like
Stand the test of time.
yeah, that's what it is. Because I was telling you guys I seen this other thing that was talking about like how a lot of the more the more recent music is like the word that's trending is mid. It's because
Mid.
like everything that comes out, like the new Drake album, all that's mid, all the new this album.
Know what the fuck you're saying, bro?
So this word derives from weed, which is mids. And it's already like taking on like a real different form, just in case you were wondering.
Mm-hmm.
What does that even mean?
Mids, dude. Mid-grade.
Oh, mid-grade. There you go.
Yeah.
It's not great,
okay.
it's not horrible, it's just mid-grade.
Exactly. Yeah. And the original first iteration of that slang term was mids. And you'll find people that do say mid, but
Yeah.
you still find a lot of people that call it mids.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
one of those tomato type situations.
Oh, interesting. I didn't
Depending
know that.
on like when you came into this slang term, it's really it's weird. I don't know. It's like
The more
odd,
you
but-
know.
I know.
Put it right
Yeah,
here.
the more you know. But yeah, that is where it
I did
derives
not know
from,
that.
dude.
That's
Yes.
cool. Yeah,
Same.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Rob
So,
dropping the
In
knowledge.
case you guys didn't know either, because a lot of people do that nowadays too with
Yeah.
slang words, you know.
Mhm.
Dude, they just fucking take a life of their own. And then you're like, oh, everybody just says this now, but we have no idea where it came from.
It's real side tangent on that. Like, it's kind of cool when you find out the origins of certain things, either
Yeah.
be like terminology or like artists. Because I don't know. I feel like I should have known this, but I didn't know that. Because I was doing a deep dive on, or like kind of like going through the Tribe Called Quest,
Okay.
and I didn't realize that's where Q-Tip and Jay Dilla came from.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Like, I felt like I should know
Yeah,
that, but
Dilla
like
time.
it
Yeah.
wasn't, on my radar. I was like, oh damn.
Sidebar, Dilla, he's the man.
Oh,
That man set
Yeah.
timing. He made modern musical timing now.
And
You know?
back to the thing of like stealing and making your own, like those early.
That's a good example,
Yeah.
Dilla.
Dilla
Yeah.
had Tribe Called Quest because
Yeah.
they're in that niche of artists who were sampling
Yep.
and
Heavy
so
sampling.
literally stealing,
Yeah.
but like kind of took it and made it their own.
Dilla
you know?
did his own thing where it became the Dilla time standard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Dilla beat was a thing because he would offset his beat, his snares and his kicks. He would offset them by like a millisecond or two,
Yep.
which was
Ah.
never really done in musical. It was just always,
Because
it was
music, you
always
have to be
on-
on
yeah.
time. Yeah.
other than like jam bands, like that's completely different because they didn't play to a click back then. But
Yeah.
I mean, some did, some didn't. But Dilla, like in the '90s when the music started popping off, and everything was like clean cut and
Yeah.
auto tuned and everything like that.
Yep.
And then Dilla brought in this swing time,
Ah.
swing to his beats,
Yep.
to where they were like electronic beats, but offset to feel like a humanistic feel.
Oh, so it wasn't so robotic. Or
Yeah,
feeling,
exactly, yeah.
Especially with like coming out of the '80s with like drum machines that
Yeah,
were exact. Like
Yeah.
you have like 16 bars or whatever, and every hit
Yeah.
is on.
Yeah.
Perfect. And
Yeah.
so like
You're right. Science was already like helping us to perfect it, but he was making it imperfect.
Yeah.
And then to your to what you said, Ray. It's the morning. I'm all
this coffee needs to kick in, man.
to your point. Him taking that sample. That's one of the best ways that you can define somebody stealing something
Yeah.
and making it their own. Using that sample and just repurposing it and
That's the perfect, yeah.
dude, it's so amazing how that was like a huge thing for just hip hop in the beginning. It was like sampling things,
Yep.
taking
Yeah.
other things, taking a bass line from something, from some
Yeah.
old like funk or
Yeah.
just even something even older than that, and using that little piece with another drum piece from somewhere else.
Just layering it to make it just a whole new artistic thing.
Yeah, amazing,
Yeah.
dude. It was a collage of music and formulated in a certain way that it just sounded amazing,
Yeah, and then plus too, like they're stealing from familiar or very popular tracks to
Yep.
where now it's like
Yep.
the older listener could be like, oh, I know what that's from,
Yeah.
and then
Yep.
boom, they got another listener.
I love that too.
Yeah.
It's the relations thing. Are you wearing the hat, Ray?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's a great freaking version of this too, or
That's a great
situation
theft.
where you use
we
that.
stole to make our own
Yeah,
new little
it-
design.
Dude, and the
And then they
familiarity
stole
of
it.
that.
Oh, and they stole it too.
They
yeah.
stole it too, yeah.
Yeah.
They remixed it from an old horror movie. Yeah.
That familiarity though, it freaking strikes a chord with people.
Yeah.
And they just go, "Oh, that." And then they just instantly like it. It's an instant hit,
Yeah.
if you do it right. And I think you did it right. You're the one that did that. It
Yeah.
looks really fucking cool.
But yeah, it's that a thing where like you do recognize the sample that they're using, but it becomes so synonymous with whatever that new artist is
Yeah.
doing. Like a good example to me is P Diddy Notorious B.I.G. song
Mhm.
where they sampled Diana Ross at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
What is it like the
The big
like,
popular.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's right.
who's hot, who's not?
Yeah, there you go.
But
I'll
Now-
do Mace's part.
that like loop has become synonymous with Notorious B.I.G. You know, like it's
Yeah.
not even really associated with Diana
Yeah.
Ross anymore, especially like to the new generations that are coming.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, because like think
That's
of
true.
think of the song I was just playing earlier, the freaking Sting song,
Oh yeah,
"A Shape of Your Heart." It was sampled like so many times.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Like so many times. Or Curtis Mayfield song with that. What is it? I think Today Was a Good Day. Or no, that's sorry. That was Footsteps in the Dark by Isaac
Hayes?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
the Isley Brothers. Yep, boom, doom. You know, Footsteps in the Dark is that song for what did I say? Dr. Dre song. I forgot. Oh no, Ice Cube song. Today Was a Good Day.
Oh yeah.
Today Was a Good
yeah,
Day. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's so crazy though. To like, I think that's why like to back to the idea of like the newer music nowadays. It's like it's mid. You know, it's like the
Mid.
mid term because so many artists are great musicians.
Yeah.
Like I think we saw an example with Greta Van Fleet. Great musicians.
Oh
but
yeah.
they're just pegged as like ripoffs of Led Zeppelin
Mm.
because they are so good. They just replicated, or to a lot of people, they just replicated the sound of Led Zeppelin. Didn't kind of turn it into their own
Don't
thing.
think, yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of people are doing now. Like that's why people are saying like, you know, people like the Chainsmokers or Drake are just like great. Like they make songs that don't sound bad,
Mhm.
but there's no like artistic thing to them. Like they haven't. They're just kind of taking like these warmed over dance beats and kind of like doing their and just what's not offensive. You know, they're just kind of like putting that out instead of taking a little bit of risk.
Safe route.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like
They gotta keep the dollars coming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna go. Like they just were worrying about like selling, you know, streams. You make sure like
Yeah.
because honestly, like streaming kind of ruins music a little bit in that way, where like you just have to worry about like them listening to the 30 seconds of your song in order to get a count of the stream. Therefore, now you've made money off of that.
Right.
You don't have to worry. You know, you just take the safe route. Make sure that people will listen to it. Because if you take a chance on a song to be too artistic, people are gonna click away and you don't get a dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, that's true. Yeah.
But
So they have to stay in that like pocket.
yeah,
That's crazy.
but yeah, that's why I thought it was a cool like topic of just like I think musicians going forward, and I think that's why we're seeing like maybe the younger musicians like I think a good example of the musicians going forward, like the thing we were just watching, like they were talking about like Billie Eilish being like the new voice going forward for the like the mainstream music sound. Like she took chances, you know, like some of those like those samples or whatever, they sounded weird, but they work. Like the one that sounds like
the Bad Guy song. That's a weird one.
Yeah.
But they took
but it works.
and they took a chance on the production and people loved it, you know.
Yeah.
So
That's great. Dude, separate thought really quick about Greta Van Fleet. Do you think that because they obviously have a big fan base. It's huge. They're even playing, I think, locally for us here at the Honda Center. That's an arena. It's an arena. So they definitely have a fan base. And I know even my daughter found them too somehow on her own, you know, and she'll like listen to some of their songs. So they definitely have a fan base, you know, it's there. But they also have people that probably shine them because they do sound too much like they're trying to sound just like Led Zeppelin.
I think it's a weird game. Like it's a weird because they could be selling out arenas, you know, but like culturally they're not cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like that weird or that perception of them that's online. You know what I mean? Where their fans are diehard and it's selling out arenas, let's say.
Yeah.
But like culturally, they just they sound like another Led Zeppelin. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, for them, I'm sure they're trying to be like, well, we're the reincarnate.
Yeah.
You know, like so. Just you.
I haven't really heard of them much, so I'm gonna check them out. Actually, that sounds cool. I love Led Zeppelin. So
well, check out their first album because what I think they ended up doing is the albums after they finally started taking chances. You know, I think with Greta Van Fleet as an example, I think they were just really young when they started.
Okay.
And they were just trying to imitate the
they were just wearing their influences on their sleeve. Like hardcore, you know? Just like when we first started.
I mean, they dress like the part two. Yep. They look like they walked out of like a time machine, dude. Yeah. For real. Like their clothing, the hairstyles, like everything.
So, but I think when they first came on the scene, like just music snobs in general kind of, or people in general, just like kind of brushed them off to the side because they're like, oh, they're a knockoff of Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I think they started to find their footing, and so like now they're growing into it where like people are finding them and their fan base is growing.
Cool.
So I think that's where they kind of came in a weird time, but I think they did end up taking their own, like putting their own identity on their music, and kind of like now it's just not warmed over Led Zeppelin riffs.
Oh, okay. I'll check
So-
it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. I'm gonna give them some playtime.
I mean, because if it's anything close to Led Zeppelin, I mean, they know how to play their instruments. Then.
Oh, yeah, dude.
so
That's one thing.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, they
I gotta give them
fucking
respect for that,
wail,
dude.
dude, for
Yeah.
sure. The songs that I do know, they wail and they do sound.
Very cool.
They have that sound. They really do.
I think that's just the thing. That's why I brought like the other musicians up, like Drake or the Chainsmokers. Like great production, great producing skills, great musicality to it,
Mm.
and they're very talented. But so you can't knock them for that.
Yeah.
It's just the originality of like, oh, am I feeling something from this? Does it feel like art to me?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, that's true.
But
the feeling versus like feeling versus cells. That's another topic in
Oh,
itself. We got to talk about that.
You know what that really is?
Yeah.
I think that's dropped off too. Man, this is moving into a really big topic.
Yeah, this is a big topic.
We'll do
Yeah.
part two. We'll do part two
Yeah,
of
we'll
it.
have to revisit this because definitely got some thoughts about that too.
Yeah.
Sweet, we'll do. But let us know your guys' thoughts. Do you think to be a true artist, you have to steal, make it your own type thing? Or do you think like artists that are just kind of, for lack of a better term, mid, they're
mid.
okay?
Yeah.
But sweet. From there, we're gonna take our first break, play some music for you guys, and we'll be right back. From there, we'll head to our next topic, which is the 90s. Everybody's favorite topic right now. Everybody's
Yeah,
talking
the
about
90s are back.
full-fledged, man. They're taking over. But I wanted to kind of go in this direction of like, whenever you think of the 90s, especially like in a like maybe artistic or musical realm, like what music, songs, artists like define the 90s sound to you?
Yeah.
You know? Like you can take it in a different direction, like a couple artists, like from this thing, or even like certain feels, like whether because I use the example before of like the idea of like Nintendo 64, like
Oh,
that
yeah,
feels
yeah.
like
Yeah.
90s to me, like playing Star Fox or freaking
Yeah,
GoldenEye.
Yo, MTV Raps.
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
that's a
Uh-huh.
good place to start actually. Like
yeah,
MTV like should be like part of their own like
for sure.
category of the 90s,
Big time.
I don't know if you guys had that on your list or whatever, but like
No, but they did do a lot for the 90s.
They
dude.
did a lot for music in the 90s for sure. Like
Yeah.
big time.
do you think about like kind of comparing to our last topic of the idea of like stealing art and making their own, like MTV like pioneered the way for like reality shows, like forget what
Yeah.
the real world
They
is.
really did, yeah.
And then everybody kind of took that and ran with it. They brought the idea of like kind of breaking new artists. Like if you didn't have a music video on MTV in the 90s, like who were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They even had my favorite. This is like my teenage most favorite thing that I ever watched. Beavis and Butthead, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
dude.
yeah.
That was
The,
dude.
what was it? The raunchy comedy. That's what
Yeah.
they did. Yeah.
Yeah,
Where like the feel like the raunchy cartoons actually like Ren and Stimpy or something
Yeah.
like that. That's like
I mean, to
totally
be honest,
90s.
Yeah.
the first anime I watched was on MTV because they had Eon
Eon
Flux.
Flux, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I did
that
not
was
catch
sick
one.
too.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude.
Ghost in the Shell, they started doing that too, and then
yep.
Then they got Scarlett Johansson.
And then, yeah. but then they went downhill.
Yeah, you know what? They had a good run for a while.
They did, dude.
Yeah.
I think the culture changed, and then music was just so easy to access that you really didn't need a television show for music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. I mean, if we do another topic like that talks
Oh,
about
yeah,
like the 2000s, like that would be like part of that too, like how like pirating or streaming music changed
Yeah.
the music landscape from then on.
Yeah.
Because like in the 2000s, it, like that pretty much like put the nail in the coffin for MTV.
Yeah.
Just the freaking
Yeah.
streaming and things like that.
I don't know if I want to blame MTV completely. I think a lot of the content that they were forced to put out was kind of subpar too. That shit was mids. Like a lot of the music videos that we were watching changed drastically.
Yes.
I think the artistic value and creative value for those videos changed, and
Too many Spike Jones videos.
Oh.
budget became an issue. I don't know, or maybe people got bigger budgets, but they use it differently.
Yeah.
Maybe for like a bigger cast of people for the video, opposed to different type of graphics. Graphic like or video making and graphic design was so like archaic back then.
Yeah.
So the content we got was so interesting looking,
Mm.
you know, it reflected that. It seemed like,
A lot
you
of
know,
David Carson.
just different. And then it kind
Yeah,
of got really basic looking, and you got
It got mid,
more
for
FaceTime with
sure.
people.
Became mid. You know what's interesting though? Like to speak of like the production, does it? I was just thinking of this. Like, is it where like production, whether it be music videos, music, where it hits like this very by the numbers type of production?
Mm,
Is that when it starts to lose flavor? Like, because
yeah.
you know these music videos we started seeing, especially towards like the late '90s, like they were all like big budget things, but they're just like, oh, it's very commercialized. Nothing's cool about
Yeah.
it because it just became like about the like, oh, let's take a kind of a short film idea, throw it into a music video, throw some, you know, freaking if you're R&B song or an emo song, let's have you singing in the rain,
Yeah.
and then
yeah.
you know, like it became very by the numbers, like same type of thing with like music when it becomes like, oh, you got to hit the chorus before 30 seconds, you know, make sure there's, you know, the song isn't longer than 3 minutes. When it starts hitting these very cookie cutter things, is that where it starts to lose kind of the appeal to those things, you know? I don't know if maybe you're
Yeah,
thinking that with the
I think so too. That definitely affects how we're going to take that music into the video or you know.
I mean, because the earlier videos I think were kind of big budget too. Because think about like Aha, freaking was all animated.
yeah,
and
but
then
it was one of the
Sledgehammer.
first music
Yeah,
videos
yeah,
that-
yeah, right.
like
Yep.
after
Like Sledgehammer was all claymation, like Peter Gabriel Sledgehammer.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Sledgehammer.
or
I fucking love
even
that song.
So big budget, but really creative with
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
budget,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
and they
yeah.
were
you're right.
like the first, like when you said claymation, made me think of the Tool Sober
Yeah.
video. You know, I love that video.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Claymation as well.
Yep.
Love that song too. But some of the like artists, when I think of like what defines the '90s for me, like one of the first artists that came to mind was Green Day. Like Green
Okay,
Day
yeah.
like defined like
100%, dude.
what like just punk rock was.
Dookie.
Yep,
Yeah.
Dookie, dude. Green.
Yep.
If you're gonna go like Dookie, freaking Basket Case. If you're gonna whittle it down even more, like do a
Yep.
song
Oh yeah.
like. And like even now, like I was telling you, like I've been wanting to build like a pedal board. Like whenever I think of the distortion, like I want that Green Day Dookie distortion.
Yeah.
Like that's the distortion I'm looking for when I'm playing
That's pretty
guitar.
cool, dude.
And that's a sound to me. Like
Yeah.
obviously I'll go and like kind of change it up a little bit. Like that's like my starting point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a
Yeah.
good starting point. Shit.
Dude, I'm glad that you even brought up Green Day. That's like that's on my list for the 90s, you know, this topic as well. For me it was junior high MTV of all things too, man.
For sure.
MTV was like just pushing Green Day constantly. I remember waking up every morning to get ready for school to go catch the fucking bus for junior high. And before I would leave, I would always catch 3 videos. I wasn't like, I didn't plan them,
Yeah,
but they
just
would
have
always
it.
play them. And it was always their rhythm or their, whatever you call
Oh,
that,
their-
their cycle. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was,
Just that word, but I can't remember.
yeah, it was Green Day's Basket Case, Soundgarden,
Ooh.
and which was Black Hole Sun,
Hmm.
Ooh,
and Hole, Courtney Love's Whole band, Violet. Those were always playing like they're just like on repeat every
Yeah.
fucking morning, dude. I remember eating breakfast or trying to get some before I leave, and those like would play, and that was like my introduction to that first step of the 90s, you know,
Oh yeah,
of that wave of the
Yeah.
90s.
dude. MTV, yeah, with those.
Mine was freaking Under the Bridge, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh yeah, dude.
dude.
And that was like the Red Hot Chili Peppers like breakthrough album
Yep.
too, because they'd done
Dude.
like two
Yeah, they
before
done.
that.
Yeah, it was lame,
But
or
they
it wasn't
just
lame, but they
weren't-
just weren't hit.
Yeah, they weren't hitting yet.
Dude, that's crazy to think because within that the reference video was like freaking Red Hot Chili Peppers, what is it, Sex Magic something, what is that album? Black Magic, I don't remember.
I forget.
Sex Magic Blood Sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that album, freaking Tribe Called Quest second album, and then Nirvana, freaking Nevermind, all dropped out on the same day.
Shit.
I think it was all September 26th, like
That's
92
crazy,
or something.
dude.
Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
There we go. Yeah,
There you go. Yeah.
I had to jumble the words in there.
Yeah, it's,
I got all the words, just not in the right order.
My dyslexia kicked in, you know.
Yeah.
Verbal dyslexia.
But I think that song was the first song that kind of like really opened my mind to like rock.
Okay.
Under the Bridge.
Ah,
That was like my
yes.
first, and it was through MTV because of the video.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, other than
Crazy.
that, You know, my parents were playing that. My dad was
Oh,
playing
yeah.
like fucking, you know, Smokey Robinson or
Al
fucking
Green.
yeah,
Yeah.
Green, freaking Bob Marley and stuff like that. But
Anthony Kiedis running in that video, dude.
yeah, that was it, dude. Because I
Yeah.
remember. Because, you know, as a kid, I always wanted to be funny, you know, so I remember always imitating that run, just like,
you
and then
With the choir in the background.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great, dude.
So, yeah, that song was like my awakening to it.
Hell
you know?
Dude, that hair flowing in the wind
yeah.
too, dude. Man.
Dude, that was some.
And then the old guitars playing
Oh yeah.
while it was all fading in the back, you know?
That wasn't John Frusciante, right? On
No,
the
no,
album?
no, no.
That was
He came in the album after that, I
yeah.
believe.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, dude, friggin' Red Hot Chili Peppers, definitely. You know, another one that I was thinking that really defined it for me, like, especially because coming off their first album, because the first album, one of the first albums, the two first albums I've ever bought was Green Day Dookie and Beastie Boys, License to Ill.
Oh, sick.
Ooh, yeah,
So-
I remember that. I remember you
Yeah,
got those albums, dude.
Oh, dude, play.
I
those
remember
things out.
when we spent the night, we played the hell out of those fucking things.
Were they tapes or CDs, dude?
CDs.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
I bought them. I remember buying them at Target because I think I had a gift card or something. For
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
dude. I got the tape of Dookie.
Ooh.
My mom bought me for Christmas that same year. She bought me Soundgarden, Super Unknown, and Dookie on cassette.
Oh, dude.
On cassette, dude.
Dude,
Yeah, it was
that's
wild, dude.
crazy.
Imagine if you still had those.
I wish, dude.
Oh god,
Yeah.
dude.
But I don't wish because probably don't fucking play.
Yeah, they don't work. They
It'd be
demagnetize.
worthless. Yeah.
But for me, one of the songs too that divided the '90s was like is Beastie Boys "Sabotage."
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
I love that video
Yeah.
too,
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
See,
They were
to
always
me,
creative
Yeah,
with
for
their
me,
videos.
like everything ties back to the video. For me,
Yeah,
because that was my way of
again,
finding music. Yeah, back
MTV,
then,
dude.
yeah,
It's true,
MTV.
dude.
Yeah,
Or like the overarching or like freaking '90s daddy,
yeah.
dude. But like another solidified was MTV2 when they did the MTV Music Awards,
Yeah.
where Beastie Boys played.
Hmm.
They played "Sabotage," and like the guitar when he was playing guitar, like he had a middle finger like attached to like his guitar.
Oh, that's dope, dude.
And I always remember just watching him like, dude, these guys are edgy, you know?
Yeah.
Edgy.
Ah, that's great, dude.
But,
That's dude. It's so funny to think about like the people that were older than us that were leaving impressions on us, you know, at the time, and like what they were doing, like that right there. You know, you're like, that's so cool. Or that's
Yeah.
edgy, whatever it is. That's great, man. Dude, like there's a lot of hip hop too
Oh, yeah.
throughout the
Oh,
90s.
yeah, you can, for
man.
sure.
Like, just I remember that's when I found Wu-Tang. I remember my friend
Oh,
came
yes.
through one day and he was like, yo, man, there's this dude named the fucking Jizza. You got to check him out. And I was like, what the fuck is a jism?
Is
Yeah.
that a shape? I mean,
And yeah, he was like, nah, man, you
You
got to
already
check
did that this
album
morning
out.
for school.
yeah, yeah, I already did that.
I know.
But yeah, that was my introduction to them too. Obviously, freaking
Bone Thugs, you got all kinds of
Yeah,
shit.
Bone
Thugs
was heavy for me too, dude.
yo.
Dude.
West Coast shit, like freaking obviously Tupac, Dr. Dre,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
the Chronic
freaking
drops then too. Yeah.
Too Short, Up from the Bay.
Oh, yeah.
E40 from the Bay too. There's like so many people that
So
were freaking
many,
yeah.
man.
Did you guys send me that video? It was a meme. It was like this guy was going around the Bay Area and he was asking, "Hey, he's like, hey, you a Bay Area native? You
I don't
originally
think-
from
yeah.
Oakland?" And the people were like, "Oh yeah." They're like, "Okay, so what's Too Short's favorite word?"
Ah,
And then people were like,
what?
People were like, I don't know, like."
What?
And then like finally like I think it was a younger kid too. He's like, "Oh, what's Too Short's favorite word?" And like, "Bitch." Like, that's Too Short's favorite word.
wow, yeah, dude, how do you not know? you like threw that in a song finally, you know? Like, what's my favorite word? Like, that's how popular that shit was with them,
Yeah.
dude. That's
But
crazy,
that
man.
was his
People
word,
suck,
yeah.
dude.
I was like, especially like being from the Bay Area, like you have to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like mandatory, man.
Yeah, but
Bay people take pride in that shit too.
Yeah.
I think what was like the 90s, like early 90s was more like West Coast hip hop, right? And then mid started
So,
getting like,
If
it
you
was
break
transitioning.
yeah, if you break it down, like I think like it started with East Coast, so like
Oh,
like
okay.
we were saying, Tribe Called Quest, freaking Wu Tang,
Yeah.
all came out like in the early like 92 to 94. 94, I believe, is when Chronic, and then 95, I believe, is when Doggy Style came out.
oh, okay.
So that
So
started
West Coast,
yeah, the West
West
Coast
Coast
started-
takeover, huh?
But then like it's wild
Big
because
time.
it kind of slapped back because I think 90 was it 95? Because 95 or 96, 90 is when Tupac and Biggie both came out with theirs. So it kind of like then they started the whole like hip hop rivalry type thing.
Yeah.
And I think it was around there.
Dude, it's wild to like think now that it wasn't even that long. It wasn't that big of a time span for that beef, dude.
Dude.
Nope.
It really wasn't. From the time that they started that beef, the time they both got fucking gunned down.
Yeah.
That's like, it sucks too, man. What a fucking shitty thing to happen, man, from music, you know?
Kind of.
Keanu from the 90s,
Oh,
man.
Keanu.
We got
Oh my God, for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that was great, dude.
I feel like though Keanu.
Late 90s, right?
Well,
No.
no.
well,
was
we
that
had Bill and
because-
Ted,
Bill and Ted, and then we had
and then Point Break.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and
and that
then,
was really his
Speed, right? When did Speed come out?
trajectory into
I think
late
Speed-
90s, like 99.
I think
like
Speed was the
99.
one that went, like, got him, right?
Whoa, Speed, but then like I mean, you could say The Matrix.
Oh, yeah, for sure, The Matrix.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
too,
But Matrix
dude.
was 2000, right?
I want to say 99.
Speed was 94.
Let's see. I'm gonna take a guess. I'm gonna say.
I think it
Matrix.
was like year 2000.
You might be right.
99, dude.
Oh,
The
shit,
Matrix.
right?
Oh,
99, there we
first
go.
film,
the
dude.
very,
And that was like also the entry to that all the CGI shit too.
Yep.
Oh,
Being
yeah.
used heavy in
Oh,
film,
yeah,
dude.
and good.
And really good too. Yeah, they
Yeah.
were doing that, the whole bullet like
yeah.
dodging shit,
Yeah.
everything that
Now
they-
you
they
look
did
back,
was
it's like,
really cool.
oh, fucking, that guy looks like a rubber band.
I know.
It
doesn't look that
look
good.
wonky.
Yeah, but
you know?
when in 2000 or 99, it was like,
That was
Yeah.
groundbreaking.
God, it
You're
looks so
dude.
real.
Not to mention
We are in
that
the Matrix.
it's released in 99. They started
Yeah.
filming that like in 97 maybe,
sure.
or 98. That probably had a few years of production
Oh,
just
yeah.
because of how much went into it and
Oh,
what we
yeah.
see now on the film,
Yeah.
At that time that shit was like we're still just getting our feet wet with that technology,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, dude.
So
It was all
those
brand
films took
new.
a while. Now they can pump out a film like a year and a half like that.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah,
But-
no problem.
I think to kind of close this a little bit out, like one of the definitely like you cannot leave the 90s without talking about Nirvana.
Nirvana
Like-
for sure.
Absolutely.
Nirvana, Nevermind, like dude, like just dude, kids are still like repping Nirvana t-shirts
Yeah.
and like saying how much they're inspired by Nirvana. Like
You gotta die. You gotta die.
Gotta
When you
do it,
die,
man.
you just everything happens.
I mean, don't do it, but
Don't do it, but if you
yeah.
want to be popular, you gotta die.
you just will not enjoy your popularity. You know?
Yeah,
It's- you
you'll
won't.
never see it. You'll never see the
You won't.
outcome.
It's a
of-
bittersweet thing.
It is,
It's
yeah.
crazy, but that's like
Yeah.
it's almost like it's like poetry.
yeah.
It really is. It's wild.
They
you
get
know?
bigger. Who? Hendrix, freaking Morrison, Janis Joplin. You know, it's
yeah,
like
oh, dude.
That's
Amy
it.
Winehouse, dude.
Amy
like,
Winehouse.
And
yeah,
they all were. It's the 27s Club, dude.
yep,
Yeah, I
They're all
know.
27 when they
Oh.
fucking die, dude. It's crazy.
dude. So many of the like, dude. That
True.
probably like part of it too. The freaking. That's what makes you a legend. Like I'm convinced. Like no matter how good or bad your art was before that, like if you do pass, like you just because. Or what's the new term that they're using? If you unalive yourself,
Oh yeah, Unalive.
Mm.
like that, you become.
Is that what they call Odin now?
Yeah, pretty much.
you unalive, dude? But
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
yeah, you become a legend after that.
Yeah.
you do. But I mean, other bands too that were freaking hitting too were like Rage Against the Machine,
yes,
big
dude,
time.
Yep,
Pumpkins too.
Oh,
Fucking
the-
Smashing Pumpkins were freaking starting
whole-
to kill it.
yep.
Oh, you
whole
got
era.
Radiohead came
Sublime,
out.
Radiohead as
Radiohead.
well, dude.
Radiohead on
Yeah.
MTV Spring Break
Yep,
when they went crazy, started like
Doing the
screaming.
bends,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's right, dude.
playing the Benz.
Yeah,
Dude.
Kid A is such a great album, dude.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, just so much good shit, dude.
Dude,
It really was, man.
yeah, I think like kind of like to piggyback a little bit on our last topic, the idea of like, you know, artists just not being stealing art properly and just being mid. Like I think a lot of the artists in the 90s were those the groundbreaking artists kind of trend, and then trends made the trends where like artists going into the 2000s, 2010 and
kind of
beyond.
just like
Just like
Carried it.
rode the wave that
Yeah,
they
rode the wave.
created. dude.
Yeah.
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 So,
It's crazy, man. Dude, think about it too. Like Foo Fighters post Nirvana.
oh,
Like that's wild, man. I remember hearing like the first like Everlong, when
Oh,
that
yeah.
first like dropped. I was like, this is such an amazing song, but it sounded so like out of Kurt Cobain's like notebook,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the forgotten like song that was never done by Nirvana. And it's so weird because I give Dave Grohl the credit now, but initially I did think like,
oh, they're just riding the wave of Nirvana.
yeah,
Yeah.
just writing that. And then, I feel bad because I do know that Grohl said it so many times. He's like, dude, how could I not have that? I was in this band. you
Yeah,
know?
he was Nirvana.
How could I not sound like my same,
Band,
that
yeah.
same music? I was in it,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was part of that. So why would I sound like so different? You know, I get it.
You know,
I get it.
funny. I remember like I used to take offense to like people who did that, like saying like, "Oh, Foo Fighters are just a derivative of Nirvana." Like
Yeah.
I remember we were in what's his name, high school music appreciation class.
Oh, Mr. Fletcher or something.
Yep.
Yep.
A kid. So we had these assignments where like you could take an artist and talk about like whatever you wanted to talk about it. Just take an artist and music appreciation, like appreciate that music in whatever way you want.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, and so one of the guys came up and was talking about Nirvana, and before he like finished his talk, he's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "And Nirvana like rebanded and became the Foo Fighters." That's like how he ended his talk, and like in my heart, like I just fuming. I was like, "That's not true. If you Foo Fighters are a completely different thing."
Yeah,
like,
100%. So crazy.
But I just remember being like, "Oh, these people that think that." I'm like, "Ah."
And then Foo Fighters just became like the arena rock gods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like they really leaned into that and their sound got bigger and just grander to fill that sort of soundscape, you know, which is wild because totally that is now opposite from what Nirvana was. Nirvana was such like a just club band, you know, like their sound was meant for that like tighter space, you know.
Dude.
I don't think it really would have sounded that great in an arena, you know, the echo and the just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to tell or hard to say, but yeah, they were crafting something
Dave
different.
Grohl, man, he was a man of many talents,
and his voice too is just so like just so much more.
It's unique, dude. Like
he's got like a projection on it, you know. He's got a man's voice.
Yep, growly.
Yeah,
but
Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl.
Dude, we need to have a part 2 on this because I was just starting to think too of like kind of also the underground artists that kind of like paved the way for like music that we started playing, like bands that like inspired Thursday. So like you look at like you got like Sunny Day Real Estate, you have like freaking what is it, Jets to Brazil, you had like Mineral, you had like even I think Jimmy Eat World's first album dropped in '98. So
yeah,
I mean you have those bands too.
Like AFI,
not to mention AFI was around too, dude.
Minor Threat,
yep.
fucking dude.
Yep.
Was Minor
Sick
Threat
of it
80s?
all.
They were 80s.
Yeah, Minor Threat was 80s, but yeah,
Fugazi,
yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, we definitely have to have a part 2, kind of like
Yeah.
The underground music.
Honestly, yeah, that's what. Because I mean, I think we're thinking more of like introduction. You know, like the first things that we experienced through the '90s was those mainstream shit because that's kind of what you're only allowed to be exposed to at that time.
Unless you were
really
in that scene where those bands were from, pretty much. You kind of didn't know, right?
Yeah, you had to know somebody to find out other shit, or know somebody that was already like reading magazines or something, and they found out about a whole different world of music that none of us had any clue existed, dude.
Not to mention, I mean, in the 90s, we were what, like 10 to 15 years old. Like
I know how,
that's how old,
were,
that's how old we were. So like, I mean, we weren't privy to like being really immersed in underground culture.
Yeah.
All we knew was MTV, you know?
Yeah,
MTV
exactly.
gave to us. But I think we'll put a pin in it from there.
Yep.
We'll come back to it though. This is a fun topic. I like it. Let us know what is the definitive sound of the 90s to you, or maybe media. Maybe you guys remember McDonald's with Furbies or something. I don't know. Was it the 90s?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
yeah. Or like the 25, 35 cent freaking hamburgers from McDonald's. That was crazy.
That's when the Monopoly games started popping off.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Or is that what defines the 90s for you guys?
Power Rangers.
Is that when Pepsi did that thing too? Like their like campaign program, like
the Pepsi points?
Yeah, Pepsi points.
Where the guy ended up suing for the jet.
Oh yeah, the jet. Yeah.
Dude. Definitely gonna have a part 2 on this.
For sure.
But from there, we're gonna head into our next break. Got some more music for you guys, and we'll be right back. All right, let's get back into this. We're gonna be talking about. So I had a question to send to you guys. I was browsing the TikTok.
Yeah, the TikToks.
And I came across a band that was doing their cover band, and they were doing a live show on TikTok, and it kind of just blew me away. I was just like, it was good sound.
Mm-hmm.
2, like the band was great. I'm trying to remember what they were called. I'll look it up in a minute. But and not only that, but they also had like their Venmo, Cash App info like right behind them.
Love it.
And I was just like,
yeah.
Oh, this is amazing. I was like, anybody who's browsing TikTok comes across this band, if they enjoy it, like they can donate $1 or $2. And I mean, if they're doing an hour, 2 hour, 3 hour set, like in
Yeah.
that span of time, I'm sure they come across like thousands and thousands of people. And if
Mhm.
only like a percentage of those people like donate,
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, I was like, this is a great idea. In my head, I was just like, why aren't like more bands doing like live shows
Yeah.
on TikTok?
It was Sweet Lizzie.
Sweet Lizzie? Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Sweet Lizzie.
Yeah. Ed coming in clutch with the freaking
Yep.
info.
No relation to Thin Lizzie.
She started a cover band called Thick Lizzie.
Thick
Ooh.
Lizzie.
Yeah.
We'll be,
Sweet Lizzie's
Lizzo,
good
we'll be a
company,
Lizzo
though.
cover band.
Oh, that should be her next freaking album name, Thick Lizzie.
Thick Lizzie. Wow.
Yep.
Dude, that'd be
She
great.
She could own that.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
probably would too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's a great thing. Like, I feel like TikTok has become oversaturated with so many musicians trying to do that like viral success thing
Yeah.
where they're just kind of trying to catch a trend.
Mm.
Where like again, like how we talked about earlier, like not enough people are stealing and imitating and putting their own stamp on things. They're just
Yeah.
kind of like doing what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
Like especially on TikTok, like it's so saturated. Like you kind of have to do something to set yourself apart. And
Oh, dude, you gave me like an epiphany. That's like, I think that's the epitome of how copying doesn't stand the test of time, dude.
because you
Everyone is remaking those exact same, whether it's a challenge or whatever they call them, that there is nothing original about it.
yep.
You
Yeah.
are the person that you are original, but you're just copying the exact same
Yeah.
thing. So as soon as that's over, it's like, okay, on to the next, it's already done. It's already, you're waiting for that next thing because it was a copy, but if it
Yes.
was something completely different, like this live feed, they're using the technology completely different.
Yeah.
That can hit. And that's something that, honestly, it could spike this whole new wave of, live people or not live people doing lives,
Like musicians using TikTok to their
Yeah.
advantage. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
that's where like it hit with me. Like it was so surprising because it was different seeing a band do something that was different. But kind of to hit on what you're saying, the idea of like all these bands just kind of regurgitating trends.
Yeah.
It's kind of to what Ed was saying earlier was like it's about money.
Yeah.
Like because they need to get streams,
Yeah.
therefore they're just gonna do exactly what everybody else is doing because it's generating traffic
Yeah.
to their their streaming platforms. And again, like we gotta have a full topic about the idea what streaming has done to music, like because everybody is gaining for clicks now.
Yeah.
Like that's all you're doing. You're not like looking to be necessarily inventive with your art. You're just like, oh, I just need to get the most eyes on me.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
How can I monetize this?
exactly, and that's why I think this was like such a
That's
your
true.
breath of fresh air because they're doing something. Well, what I thought was different. I don't know how many artists are actually doing live concerts.
I
on
haven't
TikTok.
ran into any.
And so that's why I was like, it was so refreshing. And then plus, they had their Venmo and Cash App
Yeah.
info there, so like they are using it in a different way and can monetize
Yeah.
it. So I was just like, it was such a cool like
It's clever.
yeah breath of fresh air. Check them out if you want. They do great covers. They do like a lot of they did Garbage.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
did
Cranberries.
yeah.
That's the one that I landed
Yeah.
on when you sent it to me.
Mm.
Dude, there's so many good ones. Like they're
Yeah.
solid band at it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I would like to see more bands do this. I don't know if they're doing this, but
I wonder if it'll catch. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Or
Let's do
even on like IG live. Do they still do live on IG or no?
I have no idea,
Is
dude.
there
I
any-
have
is
not
there a
opened
live-
my IGN for a
Yeah,
while. So
dude. Isn't there a cap on the live?
The length of time?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought there
Not
was a
too
cap,
sure.
Okay.
but this kind of I think I told
Short
you.
set.
Yeah, just really quick one.
Yeah.
Or if you're freaking touche, you can do all three of your
It's
albums.
got to be at least
I
like,
know.
it's got to be 20 minutes at the very least, I would think, because
Yeah, if they want to compete with anybody else who's doing a live thing,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, they have to do at least
Or
Ma-
even like Twitter would do lives too. I remember watching
Do you think you-
yeah, because I remember watching boxing matches off of somebody's
Oh.
Twitter feed. So like live,
Oh, you're
they got their home with their
right. Mhm.
camera set up,
Yep.
and I'm watching the match for free,
For free.
pirating it that way.
Honestly, I think in general, live probably I think a lot of like social media companies know it, but like live is kind of the way to go. Like, you know, you see a lot of people tuning into lives more.
Yeah.
Like, you know, whether it be Twitch, whether it be, you know,
Oh yeah, Twitch too.
like
Huge.
all these people are doing live things. Like, I think that's just the route, because we saw during the pandemic, like, people that were doing concerts. What we saw, Marshmello, right?
Yeah, Marshmello. Yeah, they were. Or who else was doing it? Like San Holo did like sets live on Twitch. Bunch of other people like YouTube, and then YouTube started doing live, and then saw a couple sets on there too.
Dude,
Yeah.
Marshmello even did a live on Fortnite.
Yeah,
dude.
that was the big
Yeah,
one I was
forgot
thinking.
about that,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Travis Scott.
Oh,
did
Travis
as
Scott,
well.
yeah.
Which is fucking crazy, dude.
Yep.
Like that's an inventive way to like reach a whole different audience.
Yeah.
You know, doing a fucking live
Yeah.
in basically the other metaverse. You know, it's a
Yeah.
different type of digital universe,
Dude.
in a game. It's wild. It's crazy.
And I think just the live thing in general is finally catching, because I mean, you mentioned the Chris Rock doing his live stand-up
Yeah,
set
for Netflix, that was dope, dude.
Like it was like that even caught me. I was like, oh, Netflix is doing like this big juggernaut
Yeah,
is doing like a live thing. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like it,
Yep.
it was so intriguing to me that like I really wanted to catch the live cast of Chris Rock's freaking stand-up special.
yeah.
I ended up missing it. Like literally right when I logged on, it was like he was closing it out and like dropped the mic. I was like, damn it.
It's so funny, dude. Yeah, I didn't even know it was gonna happen, and I
I
just
did not know either.
the very next day is when I caught it. I was like, oh shit, he did the live, and it said like filmed live yesterday or whatever. You know, I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
sick, dude. I love that they're doing that. It's just it's an interesting way to reach everyone, because I feel like Netflix is dying too. You know,
Yeah.
their
Like,
viewership is dropping.
dude, we literally just last week we were considering like, should we get rid of Netflix?
Yeah, that
Because
was, dude, me too.
we were like talking, we were like, we haven't streamed any Netflix
Yeah.
like in the
I know,
Chris
yeah.
Rock was the last thing I did.
The only reason why I keep it is because it's included in my T-Mobile.
right.
So,
Oh, wow,
It's the
yeah.
only reason why I still have it.
Can't get rid of it if I
Yeah,
wanted
can't get rid of
to.
it.
He's in my bundle.
Oh, it's in my bundle, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
so whatever.
dude. But for sure, they're definitely. I feel that I haven't watched it in a while too. Same like you.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, so they were on the chopping block, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, well, if I'm gonna cut anything, they also raised their price recently
Yeah.
to something that I wasn't comfortable with for the amount of things I'm watching
Yeah.
on there. And then I'm almost married to some other shit right now.
Yeah.
Like HBO is killing it.
Dude,
Yeah.
Love HBO right now.
we were hooked. I think that's the thing. Like, we were hooked on like Last of Us, so we were just on
Yeah.
HBO.
Yep.
The Mandalorian, so we were just on Disney Plus.
Yep.
And then the thing that's been like kind of
That's the
our
only thing I watched there, though.
yeah,
I watch nothing else on Disney, dude.
yeah. I only go there like if I maybe want to throw on a Marvel movie or something, but that's even rare.
Yeah, that
Uh,
is.
I think it's always on my house, but I have a kid, that's why.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
always like,
It's,
yeah.
Bluey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bluey, dude,
yeah.
for sure.
So
The kids tell me, no, we can't get rid of Disney, Dad. And I'll be like, what? And they're like, yeah. Alyssa's like, I watch Blue when I just want to feel happy. You know? They'll be like, whenever we want to be nostalgic, we'll just throw on an old Disney
Yeah.
movie, And I'm like, okay.
I think they have that. That's Disney's kind of like linchpin. It's like, even if they don't have good content that's attracting new viewers, like they have the nostalgic factor where
they got the essentials.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they really do. That's like our
Yeah.
core.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Disney movies that we
The
can always double
essentials for
back
our
to.
childhood.
Yeah.
and I think that's the thing that's kind of the like they're kind of their niche, because every other streaming service has to license all the other content. So Disney having their own content that's kind of it's attached to people's
Yeah.
nostalgia, like that's just keeping them there. 'Cause,
Yep.
I mean, Netflix does have some cool, good original stuff like Stranger Things or things
Yeah.
like that. But I mean,
It's very far and few between now.
no, that I'm not gonna go back and watch season 1. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
We're done.
Yeah.
That's true.
so
It's not one of those shows. It's not one of those shows that's gonna catch you.
yeah.
No.
To be like, yeah, this is a classic. I'm gonna go back and watch it. Like, like fucking what's that one show? First Prince of Bel-Air or something like that.
Oh yeah, dude.
You're gonna go watch like
That's
you know.
another one that's been in our rotation is the new Fresh Prince.
I know Marissa says it's good. I haven't checked it out
It
yet.
is good. Check it out if you haven't watched it
the
yet.
new one?
Yeah.
Oh.
You don't like it?
I didn't like it, but I didn't give it
You didn't give it a
too much
shot,
time
huh?
of day. I just
Okay.
watched the first episode and maybe some of the second episode. And I was just like, no, I don't.
Nah.
It depends on what you're going into. Like,
Not liking the vibe.
yeah, if you want more of the vibe of the original, it's definitely not gonna tick that box.
Yeah,
for
it's
you.
more serious, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
more serious. Basically, they're just using the familiarity with these characters that you know
And telling a whole nother
and
story.
telling a whole other story. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's some wild shit in there.
yeah, dude, it's cool. I'm digging it. But yeah, back to the thing. Like, I think Netflix doing the live thing with Chris Rock is like just was kind of brought it back on my radar. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, like live. You know, I think just live in general is just a route that artists need to explore more. You know,
Yeah.
whether it be doing a live TikTok.
Someone
whether
needs
it
to
be
do concerts, and then maybe they'll. Yeah.
Dude, that has been like a thing in my the back of my mind where like, why aren't more venues like? Why doesn't Shane have like, you know, a live feed of whoever's playing that night? Like, they can even kick back to the musician that like, hey, we're gonna live stream, but you get a 15% something or whatever. You
Yeah,
know, just
Absolutely.
They got to
dude.
make sure they charge for
Yeah,
it.
they're
Yeah.
missing. They're missing like something right there.
yeah.
Yeah, because
They're
like,
leaving something
I
on
would
the
want to
table.
go see like fucking AFI in Arizona, but but hey, maybe I could just stream it. That'd be
Yeah.
cool too.
A side thing, really fast. I wonder if they can figure out all the legalities with it, but if it would help the whole Ticketmaster situation.
Mm-hmm.
Where like people will be like, well, do I really want to pay Ticketmaster prices, or do I want to just stream it? You know,
Yeah.
like, will that kind of even it out so it kind of brings the ticket pricing back down to normal? You know,
Yeah.
kind of
I think I
helps
said it.
reset
I think I said this a long time ago, but Wally predicted the future. We're all just gonna be in a
Mm.
fucking chair.
Fat, immobilized.
Fat.
Yup.
Yeah.
Dude, that's one thing I haven't seen Wally either. I know what it's about. And
You never seen
I've
Wally,
never
bro?
seen Wally, dude. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I would have told you to watch Wally for the John Wicks.
I'm gonna add it to my list. I'll watch it this week.
Oh,
Damn,
it's
Disney,
good.
you're gonna get me back by just making me watch Wally.
It is good, dude.
But yeah. Let us know what you guys think. Have you come across artists that are doing live shows, and maybe I just haven't seen it? And do you think like live streams are kind of the future? Future.
Yeah. Are you comfortable with it?
And then there's gonna be this one company that says, "Hey, let's just all get together, and I'll put you on a cable box." And then we're back at cable.
We're back at live.
Yeah. All over again.
Damn it! Everything old is new again.
Yeah,
Comes in
But-
cycles.
yeah.
That's it.
So do I. No, I'm just- But sweet. From there, we'll put a pin in that one, and we'll go to our next break.
Play some música.
Got some more music for you guys, so we'll be right back. But from there, we're gonna go to things that aren't no longer alive.
Nope.
They're dead.
Shows that get canceled. Rob, this was your passion project, so you want to kick it off?
Yeah, this is something that's been bothering me for a moment because I
Really grinds my gears.
it's been
Yeah.
grinding my gears. I love you guys are cute. I love you guys both reach for your drinks at the same exact
That was
time.
funny. That was
We did-
such a coinkydink.
That was
did-
pretty cool. You fucking twins. What is this?
Twinning.
That's right, dude.
Like Arnold
We-
Schwarzenegger and Danny
we
DeVito.
We synced our
We
hydration.
spent like most of our childhood together. So.
Yeah, you guys are in sync.
Dude, honestly, it's funny because really quick on that, like I'll have a memory,
Yeah.
and most of them I'm like, oh, that was like when I was spending the night at Ed's house.
Yeah.
Dude, that's excellent, man. For those of you who can't see it, they both reach for their drink at the same exact
Yes.
time. So, yeah, just to kind of fill that in
We're
for
in
you.
love.
I sometimes forget that you might be listening to this without visual.
yeah.
So, yeah, for what it's worth.
This may be motivation to go check out the video, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that.
So you can see us reach for a drink
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Magic.
But I just finished a show, Entourage, on HBO. And
Classic.
I realized that I hadn't had that fulfillment from a show in a very long time of watching a final episode after 8 seasons of a show
yes.
existing.
Yeah.
They give you the closer and they give you the closure, if you will, of ending something, you know?
Seeing it come to fulfillment, you know.
Yeah, it's like reading a
fruition.
book, you know? You get fulfilled, you know?
Yeah.
You start the book, you finish it, there's an ending, and it feels good to close that, you know, the book when you're done. And same thing with the show. Most of the time we don't get that, I realize, though.
Dude.
Especially with Netflix. Netflix was
Oh,
just trying so much and just trying so hard. They were just throwing all kinds of shit at us and nothing was sticking.
Yeah.
And for those of us that did like something that didn't stick, it sucks.
Dude, honestly, I think some of them did stick too. They just canceled them for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah,
budget or whatever, but like there's some great ones. Like
Horrible.
when you said this, the one that came to mind was Netflix, the show called Mindhunter. I don't know if you checked out
Dude, that was like so
Oh.
good. I watched it.
Loved it. It's directed by David Fincher, so he did Zodiac and Seven.
And it's pretty much about like, about the killers.
Yeah, about serial killers. Yeah,
It
but
was
like
cool.
if you love the movie Zodiac or the movie Seven, like you would love the show Mindhunter. Or if you're into like what are those true crime dramas?
Yeah.
Like if you like any of it, like you'll love Mindhunter. And it only did 2 seasons, and then they just said they weren't gonna do it anymore. Like,
Sucks.
and people loved it.
Oh, dude, it was hitting. It was so good. It's like True Detective kind of a little bit
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Dude,
Okay.
like that's the one. That's the first one that came to mind when you said that. I was like, oh, dude, like that was like the one I really felt it on, dude. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I love that show.
Did they leave you hanging,
Yeah, they kind of
Yeah, they
did.
did.
Yep.
Which sucks.
Yep.
dude?
That's the worst when they leave you hanging.
Yes, exactly. That's the epitome of this conversation. It's the ones that really leave us hanging. There's some shows that
Ooh.
don't really have a full direction,
Yeah.
and they don't make you feel like you got left hanging. But the ones that do, those are the ones that it sucks. Tragedy.
Let me ask you guys this: which would you rather have? Like a show that leaves you hanging and gets canceled, or a show that they rushed production to close out the show? Because one comes to mind is like the Game of Thrones. People talk about like how they just bull rushed the last 2 seasons and everybody hated it. And not only that, Game of Thrones was a freaking monumental show,
Yeah.
and it's like forever, tarnished by its crappy last 2 seasons.
That
So,
sucks. Yeah,
would you rather have a show that leaves you never has closure,
Mm-hmm.
leaves you on a cliffhanger, or a show that does end up closing out but it had like a crappy last season or season finale or whatever?
Yeah.
Which one would you guys rather have?
Man, I don't know. I mean,
I left to wonder.
Yeah, I think I'm in that boat because I was thinking that too. Like,
I don't want to feel like the last like month of my life was wasted. Something like that.
yeah.
I mean, even though it
especially if you had an
actually
idea
is
of how it
because you're
should
not going
go.
to get closure. So-
yeah, yeah. I think I'm in the boat of like I'd rather be left hanging
Yeah.
just because seeing something like Game of Thrones
Yeah.
be kind of tainted.
Yeah.
You're just like, all right, I could have did with like
Yeah,
a
they can-
wonder,
yeah.
or it even gives you like kind of hope
Yeah.
where like, oh, maybe they do pick it back up,
Yeah.
in the years coming.
I think that's why, the idea that we could probably pick up where we left off and do this some justice. I would rather it just fall off the face of the earth than finish it, because then they can't go back. you
Yeah,
know?
they can't go. If
That's
you write
it.
the ending, that's it. It's done.
Yeah, that's it.
It's funny because I was talking about this topic with Marissa, and there was a show she was watching. It's called Siesta Keys or whatever. Well, they don't know if it's gonna be renewed, right? So they did the last season or this recent season, not like a write off, but like kind of giving you a little bit of closure,
Or
but
like
a
a
little
semi-closure,
but a little bit of hope.
Ah.
And she's all, it kind of worked out because if it ends, then I know it ends, and I'm fine with it ending.
Yeah.
But the door's open to go, to go
Yeah.
more if they want to.
Dude, you know what?
So I was like, oh, that's smart. That's kind of a good thing to do.
I think that's the trend going forward because I've noticed a few shows kind of doing that where it felt like, oh, it could end here,
Yeah.
but we could have more. Like, I think it was the, might have been the first season of Bel Air, the new one.
Yeah.
Like they did the first season and it ended. I was like, oh, is it ending on one season? Like I had that question because I
Yeah.
was like, oh, it could actually end here,
Yeah.
and I'd probably be okay with it.
I think writers are getting smarter to end up doing that because they don't know if the show's going to get renewed.
Yeah, because of Netflix.
Dude, yeah, because they turn out so many shows and it's like, it's
Yeah.
over, it's over, it's over, it's over. It's like cancel. It's like,
Dude, but kind of the talk we were having earlier about like like sales and TikTok and everything like changing the way people create, like that sucks that writers that create these awesome shows have to like change how they're creating their vision of a show because they're like, well, I need to write in and out just in case we don't get renewed.
Yeah.
Like they're not free to just like let their creation be a creation. They're like, I have to write to what Netflix may do to my series.
I think they might end up like, it's going to be a snowball effect, I think. But writers are going to end up writing one season shows then. But then that's going to get weird, and then they're going to end up writing. It's going to everything's going to be short stories now.
Yeah. Just six part series.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. Just freaking again, everybody chasing the money. Freaking changes art forms.
I mean, but
Yeah.
like nothing's really caught my attention to watch like all the way through, and only other thing is the only thing that has recently is Last of Us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like, all right, cool. I'm watching this one. You know?
I think too, like, I wonder, I don't know if it does, but I was trying to think, like, if it, in the back of your head, you know The Last of Us is getting
Yeah.
renewed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like 100%.
course.
Like there was
Yeah.
no way, like, it's anything like that, like The Mandalorian, any of those, for sure those are getting renewed.
Yep.
So I wonder if that kind of helps you in the back of your
Yeah.
head. You're like, okay, well, I can ride with this because I know, like, I'm going to get some closure on
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, we should. It seems like we should. Everything Pedro Pascal is getting renewed, right?
Yeah.
By the way,
I know.
yeah,
He's
like,
hitting right now.
the
Big.
big guy. I love it. It's,
Yeah,
it's
dude.
I
fucking
still,
so cool,
I still
dude.
haven't seen that movie with him and Nicolas Cage. I want to see that one.
Dude, I started it and then I put it on pause.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
The, what do they
The
call it?
immeasurable or
immensely talented. No.
the immensely.
It's got like a long title.
Yeah, it's a long
Yeah.
name. Yeah.
Nicolas Cage, just playing Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty funny, dude.
When I heard the
Nicolas
premise,
Cage,
I was
dude.
like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah, I know.
yeah, yeah, honestly, dude.
And I think, yeah,
It's
Nick's on a roll right now.
Yeah,
He
he's
is on a roll.
Yeah, a little
I think
bit
they're
of
talking
comeback.
about bringing back what's his name? Marvel character he played.
Oh, Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider, yeah.
Ooh, that'd be
Whoa.
interesting. Dude, speaking of Nick Cage, like, he's one of these actors, like, to kind of round it out with what we said earlier about, like, stealing and taking art and making it your own. Like, he made, like over the top acting his own thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, anybody who does it now, like, oh, you're inspired by Nick Cage. Like, you're being Nick Cage.
Yeah.
When anybody does it, that's who I see. Like,
wow.
and
Yeah.
not only that, but, like, did it where, like, I care about his role. Like, I'm like, oh, like, when he's doing, like, his over-the-top thing, I'm like, yeah.
And
like,
Snake Eyes, he was so over the top, and
Yeah,
I loved it,
dude.
dude.
Well, what's that movie where, I think you talked about it once, Rob, where, like, he does the ABCs, but, like he's going, like, oh, like, he's going super over the top. What's it, like, well, the one where, like, I think he's a writer, but he's also seeing himself. I can't remember that movie.
Fuck,
but-
dude, I don't know.
Anyways, but, like, just his over the topness is, like, has become his signature, and he made it his own thing,
Yeah.
Like, he kind of, like, made that part of acting, like, his thing.
No one
yeah,
just-
yeah, that's true. Fucking Nick Cage, dude. Definitely funny. One of the shows that definitely struck a chord with me that I thought was pretty cool was on Netflix called Flaked. And I tried telling people about it, dude, because it's one of those things too where you definitely want to try to spread awareness when you like something.
Yeah.
Let's get it renewed.
Yeah, so then it can hopefully have enough like
Spread the gospel of the
backing,
show.
yeah,
Yeah.
to stay alive. But Flake starring Will Arnett, and I fucking love Will Arnett. Will Arnett's just like such a funny guy.
Yeah, dude.
And Netflix held on to him though. He has that other show currently that it's like that reality show meets like murder mystery show.
Oh yeah,
'cause
what
they
is that
have-
one?
They have all these celebrities come on where
Like
he's
Will Knives Out or Glass Onion.
no kind of like that, but
okay.
it is like a reality show. He's like a
Oh,
host
okay.
of the show,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
they have celebrities. It's a different celebrity every episode, and they have to solve a mystery.
Yeah,
He's the only person within the cast that knows what's happening.
okay.
All the celebrities that come in, they have to play along, which is he's a detective and you're put in as his sidekick for the day, and you're gonna have to help him solve a crime, but you have no idea what the fuck is going on. They have no idea what's going on.
it's like improv put on like a grand production scale. Like,
Yep,
that's
it's
what it
all, and then he's doing improv the whole
What's the
time
name of
as
this
well,
show?
dude.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
on.
I want to watch it now.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
cool.
it's good,
like,
dude.
I'd seen the.
It's on Netflix.
I think
Yep.
it's on Netflix. But yeah,
Murderville,
Murderville.
Okay.
dude. Yep.
Dude. Yeah, that seemed really cool. I hadn't checked it out, but now that you checked it out, I want to check it out.
So that's definitely worth the watch too, dude. Murderville. A lot of really cool celebrities on there. But the Flaked was really good, dude, and
Boom.
it was such a cool role for him because of his personality, dude. Like I think it fit, and there was even a really good cast with him too. Kirstie Alley was his mom.
Oh,
Oh,
what?
what?
Yeah, they didn't show her until I think the second season, which it only ran for 2 seasons. But I felt like, oh yeah, there's definitely something here, and the character development was really good that we got like through the first season, and then there was a twist as well, which was pretty cool. It gave you a whole like, it kind of like fucked the whole world that we're watching, you know? All of a sudden everything was changed and you're like, oh, that's what's really going on? So there was a really good twist. Yeah.
But it just didn't hang on.
Didn't hang on, dude.
Damn Netflix, right?
Netflix.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Is it Netflix? Well, I mean, there was this other one that I was watching. What 2 seasons? Bless This Mess or Dax Shepard.
Oh, yeah. I caught some of the
Yeah.
first episodes of that too.
I think that one was a network one though, right? Like that was on ABC or
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. It was one of the big.
Yeah, it's one of the big ones.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Dax, like, I felt like he was going through that thing too where he was getting just thrown into a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And some stuff like really wasn't sticking, but he is great too. He's really
just-
funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's down to try.
He's got a charisma too about him, you know?
Yeah, I thought for sure we were gonna see him in a Marvel movie. Like I thought he was like since he was getting thrown into so much stuff.
Yeah.
Like I thought like, oh well, they're probably gonna cast him because he's becoming
He's
another,
hot right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Nope, they just made him host a TV a game show.
looking all ripped.
Yeah.
he's like huge now.
He
Like,
is pretty big. Yeah.
I don't know if that's like actually him like trying to gain muscle, but I know like he's been on like new medications and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
should be part of that.
It's like when Chappelle came back big. That was so interesting.
Yeah. He came back, but
And an
Goddamn.
octave lower in his voice.
Yeah.
Both.
That's all that fucking smoking.
Yeah, dude.
Man.
Gives you that man voice.
Hmm.
That was freaking Lemmy from Motorhead. His trick
Yeah.
every time before he recorded, freaking do like a whole bottle of Jack,
Whoa.
go in and smoke so he can get that growlingness in his voice.
Whoa.
So
Ace
you
of spades. Yeah.
some spades. But
But
yeah,
then you see him off season and he's like, hey, how you doing? You know, good
Sounds
to
like
see you
Krusty the
guys
Clown.
here. Yeah. Hey, kids. Yeah, that's great, dude. I love that. He's like Krusty.
oh Lord.
Fucking Krusty, dude. He
Oh,
was like
dude.
always on duty, you know? His like makeup was tattooed on himself, you know? So
Oh,
sick.
dude, my
Stupid
one of
hair.
my favorite bits is the one where like he runs into the studio to record his voiceovers,
Love it. Yeah, mine too.
knocks it out, and then he's like,
Yeah.
"All right, I'm done." And then the recorder's like, "All right, Krusty, we're ready to go." He's
Yeah.
already gone.
Krusty? It was when Lisa Simpson got her own doll, dude.
Yeah.
What was
It
it?
was when she had her own like my American Girl doll, you know? It
Yeah.
was like my girl doll. I don't know, it was like a spin-off type thing where it was like she was a working woman with a
Oh.
she was about education and career minded, opposite Barbie, you know? And that's what she was going in to record the vocals for that, you know, like
oh, that she was in the same studio.
you
for it.
could be
Okay.
anything you want, you know? And Krusty was like, this is how you do it, kid. You know,
I'm gonna
like
show you.
so good, too.
The Simpsons.
So man, they were
Yeah.
ahead of their time for a moment.
Yeah,
Dude. Oh, dude, we should have threw that one. The Simpsons.
Yeah, the
things that
90s.
The
did that.
90s,
Yeah.
yeah.
for sure.
You can't forget the freaking 90s without Simpsons, dude.
Yeah.
Or mention the 90s.
The
without
90s shows,
Simpsons.
yeah. That's a whole nother
Yeah.
topic.
Well, part two when we do part two.
Yeah, that's true, dude. Such a big freaking
Yeah.
topic, really.
But we'll put a pin in it for this
Yeah.
episode. Let us know if there's any Netflix shows that got canceled that you were really hoping had a second season, but freaking Netflix just pulled the rug.
Or here's an interesting one. Have we ever spoke about anything that we said we were going to put a pin in and never came back to?
Yeah,
And we didn't give you
every
closure.
episode, we'll put a pin in that.
Please let us know.
Hey, yeah, please let us know because we are gonna do an episode where we're gonna finish all those pins.
Yes.
Ooh, that'd be. And now it's gonna be an episode that we said we were gonna do that, but we never ended up doing
I know
it.
exactly.
Let us know. Let us know.
Oh, but yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hope you guys had some fun, some laughs along the way. Maybe discovered some new music. But yeah, if you guys are interested in the episode and your first time here, please like, subscribe, follow, find us on the socials, all that jazz. But until next time, everybody, take care.
Peace.
Later.